Hey, and welcome to Friday Night Six Pack, or Friday morning, or afternoon Six Pack, or whatever it is, wherever you are. This is a very, very special Six Pack this week. We've got one of our favourite guests, one of our regulars now, Darth Organs, joining us. And Darth, how are you, mate?
Well, I'm still waiting for you to tell me where Richard is. I was expecting to debate one of your atheist gods, and I feel as though you brought me on here under false pretenses.
Well, actually, it's not quite true. There is some pretenses here, because look, I've got some wonderful news for you, and that is there's been some things that have happened in the last week, and you've just been nominated and voted the atheist community's #1 Dawkins, and I guess we just wanted to officially welcome you into the atheist community.
Well, I'm not an atheist. I do appreciate whatever vote you had, but I'm still.
Now, when you say you're not an atheist, have you been speaking to Steve McRae again?
Why do you not let me finish? Please let me finish.
Stop talking over me. Stop talking over me. But
I was speaking, and you started talking over me.
Okay, so we're going to have to mute Darth there, because we just love muting Darth here on this channel. But it's. I mean, is it a case of, are you agnostic? I don't know. What are you, Darth?
You put the title on here as Darth Dawkins versus Richard Dawkins, and I'm still waiting to see where your atheist god is. I was here for a debate. If you're not going to,
hang on. You're after our atheist god? Well, everyone, welcome to the Godless Scummer. How are you, buddy?
Ahoy, hoy. How is everybody? How's Darth today? How are you?
I think Darth's grumpy. He seems a bit grumpy, doesn't he?
I very kindly filled in on the personal request of Professor Richard Dawkins to talk to you, and I don't feel like I'm being appreciated very much here.
Well, he was talking over you.
No one.
Are you talking over him?
Can I speak?
Are you talking over him?
Are you going to let me speak?
No.
Well, then why am I here if you're not going to let me?
Shut up.
It's good fun. There's nothing like muting a Darth Dawkins any time of the day. Jay, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm great. You're a little loud though, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say your microphone's very loud.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I'll hold the. You know what it is? It's because I've got the microphone. I'm off screen today because I've got someone asleep in the next room, and I'm holding the microphone close because I'm just laying back, to be honest, and I'm probably speaking at my normal vocal. Losing words here. Volume. So maybe that's it. Anyway, I think it's time to kick Darth Dawkins and bring back in Ed, because I'm more interested in Ed than Darth Dawkins. I'm just going to say your Darth Dawkins gets better and better every week. Like, seriously.
So you're trying so hard not to laugh.
Hey, it's lucky I'm off camera because it was cracking me up too.
I was trying to hold it back for a while. I was like, don't laugh. I mean, okay, I think everybody kind of knows the jokes by now, I think, but
I saw it as soon
as maybe some do. I think some don't. It's it's become a regular part of the show every week.
As soon as I said something about debating an atheist god, Jeff was just over there going,
yeah, right.
Oh dear. So I'm going to ask the big question. Last week was the big, I guess the romantic weekend. How did that go, boys?
What? Oh, with Jay coming here, it went very well.
I noticed that Raven and Amber were getting a little bit jelly in the comments section last week. So I'm just sort of like, hang on, what's going on here? Okay, I'm getting a lot of feedback. I'm a lot louder, so I'm just going to move my microphone back. Hopefully that
you're good there.
Fixes that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems to be better. Yeah.
All right, I'll just put it in its usual spot.
You quit trying to suck everything all the time.
Well, what can I say? It's all fun and games. So tell me, how was the trip? It was a decent drive out there, but was it worth it to see the grumpy man in person?
Oh yeah, I was only out there to meet the dog, so
That's fair enough.
But no, it was a good trip. It was a long trip. It was long.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, nothing's open around here. I live out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and the weather sucked.
Yeah, it was between like 45 and 50, kind of gloomy.
Okay, so it's a bit gloomy, a bit like grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it suits. All makes sense.
Did
We've got
you
Paul
doubt my
Camish.
abilities, Paul Camish, like you should know by now. I'm the God. I can do anything.
Yeah,
We
but
got
you know what
some-
you
we-
can't do is you can't
we-
mute other people.
We've got to get Darth
No.
on here so we can have Darth versus Darth.
See, I want to go another round with Darth. I actually had a look at it, and it's over a year since I had that conversation. Every day I still get comments on the videos, like it's insane. But I was just thinking, we really need to get Darth on again for a conversation, and I won't pull the Hindu pastor shtick on him this time. I'll, I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? Anything can happen with Darth, but I have no doubt there'll be stop talking over me. Actually, that's what we should do. Let's get Darth on and play the Darth Organs drinking game. Every time he brings out a classic Darth trope, we take a swig. We'll be smashed 10 minutes in.
Well,
that'll just make it funnier.
You can go talk to Darth anytime you want. You just got to go to his Discord.
Oh God, no, because then he controls the mute button.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
just be honest, we know that's what he likes. We know he likes to be the one running the. It's a bit like with the flat earthers and that guy Nathan Oakley. He's very. Although Darth is actually really, really polite in comparison to Oakley, so that's
That's
says something about Oakley.
Well, Darth is now the atheist community's favourite Dawkins. It's official because Richard committed the big faux pas this week, as we all know, of being a boomer on Twitter, which should never ever happen. He put out something that he thought was going to solicit a discussion, which I think any of us would probably know better, but he's of that generation, and he's subsequently been cancelled.
Yeah, I didn't see what he said. All I know, I keep hearing him about he's going to get his humanitarian.
I've actually got to say, I've looking at your poll. I think it's swinging back in favour of Richard.
Oh, is it? Well, I was going to mention that because I have got a poll up at the moment over on Twitter, so everyone go and vote on that. Who is the favourite Dawkins in the atheist community? Is it Darth or is it Richard? So it's always good. So anyway,
Richard's ahead 64 to 35.
Yeah. And look, when I say a boomer on Twitter, that's it's a little bit tongue in cheek because I'm not. I'm technically a millennial, but I'm almost Gen X, so I'm not exactly. I'm not in my 20s. I'll put it that way. But no, we're not anti-boomer on here. I mean, we have Jay, so
Hey, I'm not that old.
But no, so I think with the I'll see if I can actually find the heretical, pardon the pun, tweet, because it was. I mean, look, I can see it. I'll put it this way: if I had have posted it, I would have known exactly what the response that was going to happen was. But it was along the lines of he mentioned that Rachel Dalziel, who she was the former. I don't know. It's NCAAP. I'm not too sure what the actual. Yeah, NAACP. I'm not American, so don't cancel me. Yeah. So she was a chapter president there, and it turned out that she was actually white, but she'd identified as African American, and anyway, she subsequently sort of got run out of the community or that community, and sort of ridiculed, I think, by all asunder. And he mentioned her and said, well, if she can, if someone like her can identify as being a different race, how's that different? Or something along the lines of, I interpret it, how's that different from people who identify as different genders? And then discuss at the end of it. Well, I mean, on Twitter, that's just, yeah. That's only going to go one way, really. It's but I don't think the intent was to disparage. I think the intent was probably to stir up maybe an attention-seeking conversation.
I found the actual tweet.
People tend to. I mean, there's a few people that tend to do stuff like that. But Dawkins has been on Twitter a long time. This isn't exactly the first time he's tweeted similar things out like this. He's got a bit of a history of it. I mean, I'm a bit different from a lot of the sort of atheists in the community, because I've never particularly liked the guy, to be honest.
I'm a little confused. I must be missing something, because his tweet says, in 2015, Rachel Dolezal, a white chapter president of the NAACP, was vilified for identifying as black. Some men choose to identify as women, and some women choose to identify as men. You will be vilified if you deny that they literally are what they identify as. Discuss. What am I missing? What is it that got everybody's panties up in a bunch?
So hang on. So now you've only just seen that for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on it? So from a fresh set of eyes, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, from what I'm seeing, just looking at it, like no context or whatnot, he says, so what he's saying is, when she vilified for identifying as black, even though she was white, wouldn't that be the same thing as vilifying somebody who identifies as male or female?
See, that's how I took it as well.
I think, Okay, there's two ways you can interpret that, looking at it.
I caught what I missed. I caught the part that I missed. So he says, some men choose to be identified. You will be vilified if you deny that they are literally what they are.
Yeah.
What's the issue there?
I think possibly is that last sentence could possibly be taken a couple of ways. Because it depends on how. I suppose it depends on how you're reading it as well. Because it could come off of you'll be vilified if you deny that kind of almost sort of sarcastic thing. But I don't know. I think it can be read a couple of ways. But I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, sometimes don't put this shit out on Twitter where there's no fucking nuance.
Yeah,
I mean, Twitter is a cesspool. Sorry, Grumpy. I think you were going to say something, mate. What's your take?
My take was, he's saying, people jumped all over her for being white and identified and trying to identify as being black, and they got all over her. If you deny someone's gender identity, then people are going to jump all over you. So how is it okay for somebody to identify as a different gender, but it's not okay for her to identify as being black?
Yeah, see, that's something I didn't understand as well. And I get that, no, she wasn't born black, but obviously she was someone who was fairly heavily involved in that community. I mean, she was, working to move it forward, So I don't know if there was bad intentions there, but I mean, she was. I get the point of, okay, well, why or is not. Why is there a double standard? Is there a double standard? Is there an appropriate double standard? Where does the difference lie? But I guess what was really interesting was the backlash that he's copped, and something that in particular I thought was funny. the American Humanist Association, or as I call them, the good old wokies, they decided to strip him of his Humanitarian of the Year award. But here's the catch. It was his Humanitarian of the Year award from 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've stripped him of a 25-year-old award, and it's probably the most attention that the American Humanist Association's gotten, because, I mean, really, they're just a far-left political
I've never heard of them either.
But
I don't know much about them, honestly.
Look, they're one of those groups that they masquerade as an atheist or humanist group, but really they're an American political group.
You possibly, I don't think this is the first time that Richard Dawkins has upset trans people here. So just possibly why he isn't getting much charity on this. I think that's something you've got to take into account here. I mean, like,
I haven't really seen anything. I've seen him question things, but I mean, I always look at it when Dawkins asks things. It comes across in an academic way.
I always feel this is kind of where could really do with Jen in here, really, on this.
It's unfortunately Jen had I was hoping Jen would be here for this one.
Yeah.
I was having a chat to her beforehand, and I told her that we're going to have a chat about it, and she's trying to get in, but she's had a water leak. So for those who don't know, Jen's just moved into a new house, and it's a little bit of a fixer upper. A few things that she's got to do to it, and unfortunately she's sprung a leak, and it's a shame she's not here, because I had all these jokes about getting wet in her new house that I had to make, and she's not even here for me to make them, so I'm rather disappointed.
I think
actually, what's funny for anyone who's watching the chat, Tangelo's done his usual trick of trying to ask her, like, fucking seriously, mate, like, go away. Anyway, that's all the attention I'll give him.
I know.
But it's a shame Jen's not here, because I really wanted Jen here.
If I remember correctly, I think Dawkins was very. I think a few years ago, Jermaine Greer really said some stuff. I can't remember what it was, but she said something that was really upset trans people. I can't quite I think it was man's delusion that he is female, or it was some sort of quote like that, and I think Dawkins took up for her at the time.
I thought that was just a free speech, because that made news here, obviously, because Jermaine Greer is unfortunately an Australian.
Yeah, can you have her? I know you're not going to take Ken Ham back, but can you have her back?
So long as you keep Rolf Harris.
Yeah, well, less said about Rolf, the better.
Yeah, that was, everyone goes quiet, and the Americans go, who?
Yeah, no idea what you're talking about.
Well, he's like Bill Cosby.
We got to take
getting some yellow.
We got to take the rough with the smooth, because the cricket club near literally, it's about 1.5 miles from where I live. We did have Shane Warne for a couple of years, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, Warney. He's once again, the Americans are going, what? They get confused when you talk about things that aren't from America.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't watch cricket.
You can't watch. You got to understand what a crumpet is to understand cricket. So
yeah,
if you don't know what a crumpet is, you'll never understand cricket.
I know, I know the game. I know all the rules and everything. It's like baseball. Like it's boring to watch. Like I'll play it.
No. It's
I'll
not
play
like
it.
Baseball.
Well, I'll play it. I just don't want to watch it.
Anyway, I think I've actually ranted about sport enough on YouTube this week as it is. So
yeah, is something happened with the freaking Premier Rugby League or some shit?
Soccer. Soccer League.
Oh, that's such an American thing. The Premier Rugby League. Holy shit, I think you've insulted 3 sports there.
Pretty damn much, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's so in soccer, we'll call it soccer for the Americans. Yep, which is the largest sport in the world, bigger even than ice hockey. A few of the larger clubs announced they were going to form a breakaway league with all the top sort of basically the top teams where they all just play each other and no one else will ever get a look in, because they've got this very intricate promotion and relegation system in European football where basically any club at any stage can get to the top or go down, and then to qualify for European competition you've got to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League, and there's all these different things, and a few of them, like the Manchester Uniteds, who haven't been there for a while, just went, nah, we're just going to start our own competition, and thought that everyone would get on board with it. Well, it's owned by Americans, that's why. But actually, I think the owner of Manchester United is the same person who owns, it might be Tampa Bay. It's
the Bucks, yeah. And the owners of Liverpool Football Club also own the Boston Red Sox. Yeah,
the Fenway Group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Fulham, that's owned by the Khans, who own AEW and the Jags. So there's a lot of sports crossover, but there's a lot of it was really angry. But it's funny because the whole Super League thing, we had a Super League war here in Australia 25 years ago, about the same time as Richard Dawkins was getting awarded by the American Humanist Association in rugby league, that split the game, and it was a big thing, and they had one year of a split season, then everyone got back together and it was all over. So when I was seeing Super League war, it was giving me horrific flashbacks, but it certainly gave me a chuckle. But I mean, look, my team, they're in the third division of fourth division now of English football, the mighty Scunthorpe United. So it's Scunthorpe.
The thing
I just wanted to make sure I heard that right.
Scunthorpe. It's the only team that if you take the S away, you can work it out. It's that's why we started. It's basically a few years ago. Me and a few friends, well, maybe having a couple of beverages, sitting around, we decided that we needed to find an English football team that we could all get behind and support. And we decided it has to be a hopeless team that is just never going to do anything, never going to go anywhere. And one of the guys said, hang on a second, that team has cunt in their name. And that's how we all started supporting Scunthorpe. Anyway, the following year they got promoted to the championship, and it was quite funny because my Premier League team was Newcastle, and Newcastle got relegated on the same night that Scunthorpe got promoted. So the following year they were in the same competition, and I remember I said, all right, the first time they play, whichever team wins, that's my team. So they're playing for my love and affection. Anyway, Newcastle couldn't lose a game that season. Scunthorpe couldn't win a game. They're playing at Newcastle's home ground, and Scunthorpe won. So I just went, you know what? It's meant to be. This is Jesus' way of telling me that God wants me to support Scunthorpe. So who am I to disobey the Heavenly Father? So that's how I started supporting Scunthorpe. But really, it just comes down to the silent S. Yeah,
I mean it's a long story, but I mean my sort of final take on it was, it's a shame that they did what they did the way they did it. These 12 big European clubs, because there's a lot of real legitimate issues with the existing governing bodies of soccer, FIFA and UEFA.
Oh, they're corrupt
as fuck. And there's a lot of issues.
They gave the World Cup to Qatar, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know.
While promoting diversity and inclusivity, they give it to a country that kills people for being gay.
Yeah,
in the middle of a desert, that's never qualified for a World Cup.
It's never got near to qualifying for a World Cup. It's
no.
Speaking of
that, what was that shit about Iran?
Oh,
see that?
that's ridiculous. Didn't they do something like this with Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago as well?
Yeah, so Iran have just been appointed to the UN Commission for Women's Rights. I think.
That's
Hang on,
right.
I'll find the exact, because it's one of those things that you sort of look at and go, hang on, Iran, like, you know, they're. Let me find it. It's I'll get you the exact.
A country who doesn't give a shit about women's rights now sits on a panel talking about women's rights around the entire world.
Yeah, so the UN has elected Iran to it's a 4-year term on its Commission on the Status of Women, which is the principal global intergovernmental body exclusively dedicated to the promotion of gender equality and the empowerment of women. Now, when I'm thinking of gender equality and the empowerment of women, I'm not thinking of Iran.
No.
Like, I can't think. It's, you know, there's not many countries that are worse for it. They're all in the same region, but
that would be like asking Otangelo how to teach us about Satanism.
Well, or Christianity.
Right.
But no, it's really odd. It's But I mean, the UN's kind of become a bit of a joke in the last few years. Anyway, the UN has just become there's a few countries. Everyone votes in blocks. It's all about, you know, individual power cells, and, you know, if the UN was a serious, or even if the international community was serious, I mean, for a start, everyone would recognise Taiwan. Like, how Taiwan is not recognised by anyone is a joke. What's happening to the Uyghurs in China, there would be something done about that. But no, nothing's done about it, because everyone just wants to appease their bestest buddies in the UN.
Yeah.
And, you know, Iran would have been elected to that position probably by countries like Saudi Arabia, or actually maybe not Saudi Arabia. I think they hate each other. But I guess countries that have a similar thought process, and you know, it's like when they had a stack of Middle Eastern countries go in, and I can't remember what it was on, but all they basically did was go into these groups and committees and complain about Israel. And I know a lot of people have got thoughts on Israel, but hey, if I was going to live in the Middle East, that's the one place that you would want to live, because at least you've got freedom there. Unless you're Palestinian, you know, I don't think the Palestinians have got it great there, but anyway, that's a whole other story. But yeah. Anyway, we kind of went around in circles a bit there, didn't we?
A little bit.
I'm gonna throw across to Jay and let Jay take over for a minute, because I've just got to duck away for a second. So Jay, the show's yours.
Oh really? I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared for this. I didn't come prepared for this. Yeah, some of us understood that joke. So what's going on? Let's see. Nothing. Yeah, just been working and visited Ed last weekend.
Yeah.
Not much going on, really.
Yeah,
go ahead. Show him. How's it looking? How's it healing?
It's healing good. It's in that snake skin type of situation. You know, I got to wait for the little snake skin to flake off of there, and then it'll be all bright and shiny.
Put some vitamin E on it. Vitamin E oil.
Yeah, probably another, I don't know, I give it 2 more days and all the little snake skin stuff will be gone and we'll be good to go. But yeah, Jay gave me an awesome cover up, got rid of that nasty ass, you know, creativity symbol on my arm.
Yeah.
And it was surprising. I made the mistake of, you know, putting that on Twitter and letting everybody know.
Oh, I know the fucking, what the fuck was wrong with that person?
I don't know. I was erasing the hate. I was getting rid of this white supremacy symbol and getting a cover up. And I had somebody respond with, imagine
being happy for.
No, imagine being congratulated for not being a flaming racist.
That's what it was.
It's Jen.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Hey, girly.
What's going
Hey.
on?
Well, I finished cleaning up shit. Well, water actually, but hey.
You got your leak.
Jen's here. Oh, now I can make my joke about you getting wet in your new house.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yes, I got it.
Hi, Jen.
Now,
Hey, Jen,
I just
how are you?
want to say, can you show us that tattoo again, there, Ed? Now, all right,
Oh,
I'm just going to
so
share.
cool.
I'm just going to share something here because I just want everyone to look at Batista's belly button.
It's the same thing.
It's Ed's tattoo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Godsmack
Are you-
symbol.
It's the God smack son.
So hold on.
Are you
So
saying Ed's arm is Batista's belly
Batista's
button?
belly button. Yep, about that big.
So we
No, I'm saying Ed's basically Batista now.
should,
Ah,
should we
so
call
the
should
Darth
we be-
Batista.
Darth the Destroyer.
Oh, Darth the Destroyer. You know, I think
I will not tolerate blasphemy of my name. You can also.
and we've muted him. Darth, how we actually, you know what? I think it's time to go and check on the Twitter poll. Let's see how the Twitter poll is going.
I actually did say that this is a conversation I felt we really needed Jen here for, I think.
And you know what? Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. So I've unfortunately I've got some bad news for Darth because Richard Dawkins is still the more preferred in the atheist community, 64 to 35.
That's hardly surprising.
To hell with you all. I am the greatest Darth ever.
Richard Dawkins did what Richard Dawkins always does. He comments about things outside of his field that he knows fuck all about, basically.
Okay,
and he makes himself look like an idiot, but lots of people do that. Lots and lots of people do it.
Hang on, but not on Twitter. Everyone's really, really calm and reasonable on Twitter.
Yeah, bullshit. No one on Twitter is reasonable and calm.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I've got my thoughts, and a lot of my thoughts are to do with cancel culture and freedom of speech and understanding that an old guy got on Twitter.
Okay. The old guy got on Twitter, but it's not the first time he's done this. And I mean, as far as him taking the award off him goes, I get that to a certain degree in the fact that that the award represents a certain standard that they want to uphold as a society, and I don't have a problem with awards places saying, well, hang on, you're not representing what we want to represent now, so because it's a private award thing, so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think people on Twitter have to realize he's an old idiot who didn't know what he was talking about and often says shit that he doesn't know what he's talking about. I know plenty of other atheists who do the same shit. Get online, talk about crap they don't know about, and then wonder why people go, you're a fucking dickhead. Well, there's a reason why
you talking
people
about
say
me
to you,
again?
You're a fucking dickhead because you don't know what you're talking about.
You're talking about me again, aren't you, Jen?
But I mean, there are lots of people who do it. They get up there and they say something like rocks are atheists or something like that, and they look like a dickhead. And
hang on,
It's got to be one of the dumbest fucking arguments I have ever heard.
it is, isn't it?
Look, you know it's pretty bad when pretty much everyone takes Steve McRae's side.
Yeah.
Like Steve McRae could say that the sky is blue and people would want to fight him on it. For Aaron Ra to basically lose that one so bad, I mean, damn.
Yeah,
What was he thinking?
Aaron actually liked the meme I made. He actually liked it. The one about the rock and the Episcopalian.
Oh, actually,
He thought it was funny.
Lord.
I can
I've got to
understand.
find the jokes from earlier today that I saw.
It's not still going on, is it? The rock thing.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Off and on, you'll
kidding.
see it pop up. But I
Okay.
can understand the argument. Our baby's atheist.
Okay.
Okay,
So
I
this
can
is-
kind of get where people would come with that one, but the whole rocks are atheist just
No,
makes no goddamn
it's
sense.
not a
Right.
not a reasonable argument. Being of religion, or being an atheist or anything like that, requires a cognitive choice. If you're talking about something that's not cognitive, it cannot make that decision. So it is not that. A baby is no more an atheist than a baby is a Catholic. Even if their parents are Catholic,
a baby doesn't have a position on it. That's right.
The baby doesn't have the position.
I understand that part, but I can see how someone would come to an argument or one way or the other with the baby.
Okay.
Because they are actual sentient beings.
Yeah.
A rock is not a sentient being.
I don't know if Atangelo's still in the chat, but I might be about to win an argument for him here. Because when you think about it, atheists have killed a lot more people than theists, considering how every pathogen lacks a belief in God.
It's true. No, well, unless you're a see, this actually reminds me. I think you put a tweet up earlier, Jay, about was it something to do with death?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The only thing that's killed humans more than humans is old age.
Yeah, to which I had to put my 2 cents in and say, well, God flooded the earth. So I guess if see, this is why it's good to be a proper atheist, because pathogens don't hold a belief, so they're agnostics.
Yeah,
so
but
more
whose
agnostics.
definition of atheist are you going with?
Can I go back to the Richard?
Well, the actual.
Can I go back to the actual Dawkins, the real Dawkins thing?
Darth, yep. Sorry, yeah.
No, not Darth, the other one.
Are you sure? Do you not love me?
But fuck Darth.
You want to do what to Darth?
If people didn't raise these people like Richard Dawkins or Aaron Ra or any of the other fuckers up onto fucking pedestals, like they were actually bishops of being fucking atheists, we wouldn't have this problem. Because people say dumb shit all the time. If you don't put people up on pedestals, then when they say dumb shit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have said that once or twice, actually.
I think you said that on a stream on my channel, Chris.
I think it's kind of it's been a bit of a running theme for me. But that's the thing. It's if you put and look, I mean, the non-atheist community looks at stuff like this and they are seriously laughing their asses off, because they're just going, this is why you want to know why atheism and I guess secularism in general struggles to compete with theism. It's because of shit like this.
Yeah.
The theists are organised. They understand they've got their disagreements, but they still manage to work together. Whereas on our side, it just seems that if you disagree with one of the great saints, the holy people of atheism, well, then you shall be cancelled if you don't follow the holy tenets and doctrines. Now, my thoughts on what he said were, I think he was trying to make a bad point about, which is actually something I don't have an issue with, where people identify as as having more in common with a different race or culture. Because, I mean, look, if you were to, let's say that any of us were raised in China, okay, and we're all white people, or Caucasian, well, predominantly, if we were raised in China, we would identify with the Chinese culture. We would probably identify as Chinese.
Even though being white, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in Australia, there's a lot of Indigenous kids, or a lot of Indigenous people who identify more closely with the African American culture. And the reason that they do that, and look, I mean, from a genetical point of view, I think Indigenous Australians are probably the furthest from Africans, because they were essentially the first ones to leave, or the furthest removed. So I understand that people can identify with other races. I think sometimes people do it for the wrong reasons, but even you'll get people who are mixed race. Well, you get someone who's got next to no, or people who you'd look at and say they were white, but because they're 1/8 or 1/4 of something, that's how they choose to identify.
And that's perfectly fine.
I've got no issues with that. Even that Rachel Dalziel, and I don't know if there was any ulterior motives or anything behind that. But I mean, look, if she feels that that's how she identifies, I mean, she was doing work to further African American causes.
Let me interject something on that, Chris. As far as groups like the ones I used to belong to, and a lot of other people, if she can trace her family history back and find one drop, then technically she's black. According to certain people, it only takes one drop.
Well, geez, they're going to be disappointed if they ever find out where all humanity came from.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's quarter caste, and he didn't know because he was adopted, and he does not identify as Aboriginal at all. He wasn't brought up that way. He doesn't identify with it, but I mean, technically he is, but from his point of view, he's not. So it goes around both ways. I think there's this. I think you could overstep the concept of cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
There is a certain level at which it is cultural. If you're somebody who takes on all the aspects of your own group, and then every now and then goes and wanders off and does and pretends to be something else, then yeah, you're culturally appropriating. But if you're living your entire life as part of that group, then you've taken on that culture and you've become part of it. You know?
Okay, but to throw, so you said something interesting there, that sometimes people will identify for a period of time with one culture and then go back. But that's
not what I meant. No, okay. I meant where somebody is like, on the weekends I'm a black rapper, but during the week I'm a normal white person working a job. That sort of person.
Okay, yeah, all right.
That's
fair enough.
Cultural appropriation.
See, I think cultural appropriation's bullshit, personally. I think.
And I realised what I said was really racist, so I apologise.
Well, in some cases, I think it can be bullshit. But like Jen said, you got people out there, and I know somebody here in my local area. They want to do all this Native American artwork and everything else, and they are as white can get, and know nothing about the artwork. That they're just like kind of copying a style and making money off this. And people have told them before, hey, listen, that's not what dream catchers are made for. That, like, you're completely misusing that. And they're like, so what? It's making money.
Yeah, it's like when there's been a few white painters in Australia who've copied Aboriginal paint styles and then sold it off as if it was actually Aboriginal paintings, and that cultural appropriation and fucking wrong to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Well, but is it?
I think it is.
So if I paint something in a Renaissance style, like say in the style of a Da Vinci or something like that, is that me culturally appropriating Italians?
Depends. If you're trying to pass it off that you're an Italian person who actually is.
If you're trying to pass it off, okay, yeah, sorry. If you're trying to pass it off, that's
that was my
story,
point. I'm talking about people because there have been cases of people trying to pass it off as this is actually.
Yeah, well, that's bullshit. But
that's bullshit.
But no, because I know people.
Oh no, in the style of I don't see a problem with.
Yeah, because I know, like at the schools here. Yeah, at the schools, I've got two school-aged children, and there's there's a few Indigenous kids in the school, and they're very big on Indigenous culture, and they'll do like teach Indigenous style painting and things like that. And I wouldn't consider that my children, when they're learning and doing Indigenous style painting, are culturally appropriating any different. If someone does manga, they're not culturally appropriating from the Japanese or
Unless you try to pass it off as being Japanese.
Yeah, I think you can have Japanese style. It would be different
if you were a white person who was born in Japan, raised in the culture and doing it. Then how is that not Japanese?
Well,
in that sense.
It would be. I think it's it's an interesting
culture is more
thought.
than underneath our skin we're all the fucking same, pretty much.
Exactly.
There isn't that much. There's bugger all difference, pretty much between everybody of every race.
We all evolved in the Serengeti. Robert X has put a question out there. there any people on the planet, except maybe for some people who have never had contact with other people, that are pure race X, or has everybody something from another race?
Pretty
Realistically, we're all well, I mean, we're all human. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And I think if there's the closest thing there is to a pure race is probably Africa, where they're probably more pure human, because those of us who are well,
we have more Neanderthal. That's why.
Yeah, we've got a higher concentration of Neanderthal. I believe, and
other little hominids that were around as well.
Yeah, I'm having a Denisovians. I believe people from Asia are more likely to have Denisovian. Indigenous Australians have got Denisovian. They're probably one of the last breakaways from the Denisovians. But as far as Homo sapiens, Africa, that's kind of probably the closest to a. But I don't think there's really a pure race. I mean, we're all human. It's just, our skin colour changed slightly because of agricultural and weather reasons. Yeah,
there are a few other minor differences, like lactose intolerance is more common if you're of African descent than if you're European, because that's where the genes first mutated. There's a few minor differences in other things, but it's fucking minor. There is very little difference between any of us.
But a lot of that, once again, that comes down to agriculture, because it was Europeans are less likely to be lactose intolerant because we
made the milk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we've grown up with it. Same as Europeans, and I think certain parts of Asia are more immune to viruses because we're essentially we're the descendants of the survivors of the Black Plague. That's why in indigenous communities you'll find that because their descendants didn't go through the Black Plague, that's why they're more susceptible to things like COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I always remember that book from, was it Jared Diamond, a number of years ago, Guns, Germs and Steel. And I know there's some criticisms of that book, but I think he was, basically he was on the right track with most of what he said in it. But you look at some of the geographic and sort of advantages, geographic and cultural things that happened in Europe that maybe gave Europeans a bit of an advantage on certain things, like the fact like when we adopted sort of animal husbandry and that, when we had the animals in that part of the world that you could easily adapt to a husbandry and so on, and obviously the way the way that played into how pathogens and so on evolved, which is obviously when the Europeans first went to the Americas, really the Spanish didn't conquer the Incas, smallpox did, because they had no immunity to it whatsoever when the Spanish brought it over.
And that's what's killed a lot of indigenous people throughout the world. It's not necessarily guns or colonization. Well, I guess it is colonization to an extent, but it's it's germs. It was the common cold, and we're seeing that at the moment, because essentially what's going around is just a variation of the common cold, which we've just all gotten so immune to over the years. It just gives us a runny nose, and that's about it. But it's because of that animal husbandry, like Jeff was saying, that's what's really made a lot of changes to Europeans, because all of a sudden, living with animals, we started getting sicker, because as it turns out, animals do carry a lot of viruses that, and as a result, our immune system developed. It did lighten our skin, as did the climate. So it was a number of factors, but I mean, essentially, not essentially, 6,000 years ago, the inhabitants of England were black.
Yeah.
It's 6,000 years ago. So, I mean, we've got Göbekli Tepe is a site they're excavating that's 12,000 years old. So, I mean, 6,000 years in the scope of human history isn't a big thing. White people are actually a fairly new phenomenon.
Human history itself is kind of tiny in the scheme of things.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
I mean, we as a species have been around about 60,000 years as Homo sapiens.
Mm.
That's a sneeze.
Oh no, longer than
a little bit longer than that. Yeah,
a fair bit longer. But it's really when we kind of started becoming human like we are now, as far as we sort of took a bit of a step forward.
But you see, the Earth's only 6,000 years old, Chris. I mean, we've got this book. You know, you should. There's a guy called Ken Ham you want to listen to, and apparently he knows a lot about it.
I've heard good things about him. I only heard good things about him. Dr. Kent Hovind speaks very highly of him.
Yeah,
I want to answer this question for Robert X. Normal people would look at everyone here and say that we are white. I was raised thinking I was mostly Italian and Irish, and then I took a DNA test and found out that I'm not. I'm a bunch of different things, and I'm actually more West Asian, or Arabic, for layman's terms, than I am Italian. So, according to groups like the ones that I used to belong to, even if someone looks white, if they trace their DNA or take a test and it says they're 20% black, those white people are not going to accept them as white any longer. They are now considered miscegenated, mixed. They might as well just go ahead and say they're black because they're not white.
To be honest, I don't think it's a bad thing to get rejected by some of those groups. It's,
no.
I take the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that they have this mindset, but some of these groups still hold the pseudoscience theory that we are all different species, and we're not.
Well, to go back before speciation to where we couldn't have bred with our ancestors, we have to go back nearly 5 million years.
Yeah,
exactly.
But we would have been quite a bit different 5 million years ago, but not different enough we couldn't have bred.
The groups
5 million years ago, Ed might have had a mustache.
No, Ed will never have a mustache.
5 million years time, he might.
Now, the groups that I used to belong to, Jen, they would say you're just a shill for the them, the new world order, the controlling people. That's not real science.
That, to be honest, Ed, with the people you used to hang out with, they would have gone, "You're a fucking tranny. We're going to kill you."
Mm.
Well, this is true too.
I've got to say, that's a good point, Tangelo, and totally irrelevant to the conversation we're having. Thanks very much.
That's because Tangelo's got nothing better to do than come in here and want to spout shit. I mean, it's not even the Atheist Pastor channel anymore. That's the funny thing. It's like we've got a Buddhist here. We've got whatever Ed is. We've got someone from England, and we all know that they're really secret Satanists in England. And I'm from Australia, which doesn't exist. And don't get me started on Jen. She's from the funny part of Australia. Hey, actually, Jen, you're not in lockdown, are you?
No, I'm not. So now I'm out of the big smoke. I am not in lockdown. I can go to neighbouring towns. I just can't go to Perth or Mandurah, because that's all in lockdown. But that's okay, because I'm not going there anytime. Well, not for about 3-4 weeks.
There's been a huge outbreak in Australia. We've had 3 cases. So that,
three cases.
Three cases. So they've locked down an entire city of 2 million people
for 3 days
over a holiday weekend, the biggest holiday in the country.
By the way,
but the lockdown doesn't start till tomorrow. So all these people hopped in their cars and fucked off from the city last night, and they've taken an extra day off work so that they can come back at the end of it. What was the fucking point?
Well, it's like when I was flying back from Brisbane, just as the lockdown came into place for the 5 cases they had. I've never seen so many people trying to flee at an airport. It was funny as they cancelled, all the states started closing borders to Queensland, and it was actually quite humorous to watch people crack the shits. But anyway, that's another story. Sorry, Jeff, you were going to say?
I was just going to point out there's nothing secret about my Satanism, by the way. I've got my card membership card right there. Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, you're a theist. So, I mean, you know. Yeah.
Can you marry people in the Church of Satan?
I don't know, because that's the Satanic Temple. They don't get on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
No, that's
which
what I
one
mean.
is Satanic Temple, or...
Yeah, but are you ordained in the Satanic Temple?
No, I am ordained in the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
Dude, yes, I know you.
There's one. What is that? Universal Life Church.
Yep, that's what I'm ordained in.
Yeah, you can get ordained on that just online. Like,
yep.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the Church of the Dude. Like, you just go on there, click a button, you're ordained.
Well, I've done the study and got the qualifications. I reckon I should get ordained as a Christian minister. I don't know. You reckon I can find a church that'll ordain me?
Ordain you?
Why not?
Listen, I'm going to address Tangelo here.
I got it.
You know what? Let's not pay him attention.
Hold on. Apparently, everybody belongs to Satan because I'm the God and nobody belongs to me. So,
no, and you in fact belong to Amber.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm not going to say anything else. But as far as I'm concerned, Tangelo, just fuck off. Go somewhere else. It's no one. I mean, look, you provide a little bit of entertainment for us every now and then, but the bullshit you put out there, it's not converting anyone. No one's interested. I mean, we're talking about stuff that's completely different, and you come in here and pull this shit. This is why no one likes people like you. This is why, you know, we try and engage in friendly, reasonable conversations, but, you know, all you want to do is just come in and carry on with the same old crap, and honestly, it's boring. It hasn't convinced us before. It's not going to convince us now. Like, it's just, seriously, you've got a family. Go spend time with your family. Like, surely there's better things to do than to troll bloody YouTube channels that you think might have atheists on them and try and put out bullshit arguments that, you know, we've all heard before. I mean, for fuck's sake, I've basically got a Bachelor of Theology and a Bachelor of Ministry. You know, I was going to do my PhD in history, you know, before I decided I'd rather be a lawyer. But yeah, you know, like, it's, if you don't think that I haven't studied this and looked at all these arguments, like, you know, it's not like you're going to put some profound precept bullshit in the chat of a YouTube section while we're talking about, you know, a completely different topic, and I'm going to go, oh my goodness, I'd never consider. Oh fuck, that's it. Yep, Jesus, I'm back.
I mean,
it's just honestly.
But I think Never Again makes a good point. If you are that, but if you are obviously, you know, concerned about your relationship with with God or whatever, what you could go and do is go and pray to your God.
Yeah, go do that. Don't bother him.
Pray. Yeah. Honestly, Angela, you could go have a wank and it'd be more productive.
Then you'd have to pray.
That's our Jen. You know what, Tangelo, go spend time with your family. It's honestly, just go spend time with your family. If I see anything else in the chat, any of the other crap from Tangelo, I'm just blocking him because, you know, as much as I'm for free speech, this is my channel and I'll control what's on here.
I got him in the chat. Don't worry about it. I got him.
Yeah, cool, awesome. But anyway. What were we talking about before we were so really interrupted?
Next. Oh, we've got to get to Milo, yeah.
Oh, we've got to get to Milo.
I think it's time to kick over to Milo.
So Milo Yiannopolous. So
Milo, and the plank and the paper bag.
What?
The plank in the paper bag.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
When he was outside of the Home Depot. That's Ben Shapiro. That was Ben Shapiro, wasn't it? Yeah,
yes.
Wrong
right winger. Okay, for those who don't know, Milo Yiannopolous, he shot to fame back in 2016. He was a very vocal supporter of Trump. English, extremely, very, very gay, and like flamboyant.
He's been cured.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. He's no longer gay. He's been cured of it, and he's now a devout. Now, this is someone who's married to a man, or well, I don't know how that works anymore. He now refers to him as his housemate. But he's been cured. He's
housemate with benefits.
Yeah, but there was a strange stream he did this week, and I just happened to be home and killing some time in front of YouTube, and it pops up, and it was Milo talks to the Westboro Baptist Church. I'm just like, oh, this is going to be interesting. It was the most uncomfortable thing I've watched, because he's sitting there agreeing with the fucking Westboro Baptist Church on things. It baffled me. He's gone full on hardcore religious, like insanely religious. Like, he always said that he was, Catholic, and he's half Jewish, half Catholic, and okay, yep, fine, whatever. But it was, I mean, he was also someone who was, married to another man, so he wasn't exactly a practicing Catholic. But now he's full blown crazy. Not anymore. Although he did admit that he came close to slipping up.
Maybe he doesn't need to practice anymore. Maybe he's got it right.
So who was he talking to then? Was it Shirley Phelps or?
Shirley Phelps. Hang on.
Shirley Phelps Roper. Was it her?
No, it wasn't Shirley Phelps Roper. It was whoever the head of the. Let me find it, because it was.
I'm not sure who's running that church anymore now.
Margie Phelps.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can. I'll find a quick clip, and I'll just go to a random clip to play.
Because I saw I saw that thing with Godless Engineer talk to Shirley Phelps Roper. That was uncomfortable watching. I mean,
yeah, I know. No one should have to watch Godless Engineer.
Well, I was going to say, because
that's a joke. He's all right. He's all right. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Either, so
no, GE's okay. So I know other people don't like him. I actually quite get along with him, but all right. So hang on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, and I've just gone to a random part, like 22 minutes in, and it'll give you an idea of who Milo is, and you'll see how super straight he is. Anyway,
super straight.
He's like totally super straight, yeah.
Totally straight.
Super. Okay, so I'm just going to apologise, because we are playing Westboro Baptist Church and Milo Yiannopolous, so I don't know if there's going to be anything that offends someone. I'm just going to assume that there is going to be something offensive said.
Wait. I want to know why. Oh, why are we getting so much feedback?
Oh, it's probably because you're sharing something.
Oh. Why does the sign say, be reconciled to God Chris?
Well, I was going to let you know, but I'm starting a new church. This is actually where your mate Christopher goes. So it's actually Christopher. Your good buddy. He's this is where he gets all his best work done.
The church.
LOL.
Yeah. All right. The LOL. Hashtag. All right. So okay. Just the warning's out there. I'm sure there will be something offensive.
The leading voice to blame. Let me tell you something, Milo. I'll take the New York City International Gay Parade, and I've picketed it personally several times, any day over a mob of so-called conservative Christians. They are, as a group, mean as a bunch of hypocritical rattlesnakes. There's nothing charitable in them. There's nothing kind in them. There's nothing selfless in them. It's all about their values and their works righteousness. So start there and then go to this.
I have to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you just for a second, and I know that you've got more of that answer to come, but I have to say, at the risk of upsetting everybody I know, I find this so powerfully persuasive, because haven't we just discovered in America that these...
Okay, so that kind of gives you a bit of an idea. He finds it powerfully persuasive, and that was throughout the entire... Well, I watched probably 3/4 of it before I just went, no, that'll do me. You can see how straight he is. I mean, he is clearly a straight man.
Oh, he's clearly straight. I
just find.
He's obviously banging chicks all the time.
I find that whole comment of the Westboro Baptist Church being talking about being kind and charitable a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually. We should actually do a deep dive on that at some point.
These are the people being kind and charitable is not picketing people's funerals, for fuck's sake.
Especially returned servicemen.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? He actually in it he brings that up, and she explains it in this way of, well, you know, it's we're not really picketing them, we're picketing the institution and the nation, and we're standing against the nation. And he's there going, I can't argue. It all makes so much sense. I'm just going. I thought Milo's a provocateur. I thought he would absolutely smash her, especially considering where he's come from. But all of a sudden, he's now.
Well, he's trying to come back from the whole pedophile thing.
Oh, that was blown out of proportion. That was him making a joke about his own experience as a child.
Yeah.
You know,
but it got blew up.
A very poor joke.
I mean,
well, not even so. I think he made the comment about, you know, it's boys, but he's not talking when he's talking about boys. He's not talking. He was never talking about like children. It's just like it's like young men. That was, and that's a commonly used term, you know. So I cheer on my footy team. It's like, yeah, come on, boys. You know, I'm not referring to them as children. It's an expression. It's probably more of a, and Jeff might back me up on this. It's more of a non-American expression, I think. So, you know, it's the Americans.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Americans always get upset because they forget that there's a whole big world out there.
No, just America
and Canada.
The rest of the world is fake.
Yeah, well, yeah, can't argue that. Except for all the places you need to invade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except for the places that have oil.
Yeah, they're real and must be oppressed.
They're just a little bit further away, so you'd have to get a very powerful telescope to see them on the flat Earth, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now, to answer Michael's question, yeah, he is. His surname is Greek. He is. I think he's. I don't know how the exact makeup works. I know he's half Jewish. But you do have a fairly large Greek population in England and the UK that have been there for a few generations. I mean, Prince Philip was Greek. You know, George Michael was Greek, and Milo Yiannopolous as well. But no, he's definitely Catholic. He raves and rants about how the Catholic Church is the true church and all this other weird shit now. So. It's odd. I don't know. The whole thing is just bizarre. But I think we will get into the Westboro Baptist Church at some point. I've kind of been avoiding them because I think they've been overdone a bit. But I don't know. It might be fun to poke them.
Wait, poke the bear.
Introduce them to Darth Organs.
Well, if we do a show on the Westboro, you need to invite them at least to come to the chat.
Oh, they would. They'd show up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Westboro. Yeah. Oh, they'll take anything. Like seriously, I'll give them one thing. Whoever does their marketing is a genius because it's a tiny church in the middle of bumfuck nowhere that you know,
worldwide known.
Exactly. I mean, you know, I'm sitting here in Australia talking about it. You know, the Westboro Baptist Church. Anyway, what can we do? There's strange.
And they're not even the
world.
worst. I mean, yeah, you've got other churches that actually do way worse things than Westboro Baptist.
They've just got
they
better
will
marketing.
know for the crap that they do.
Oh yeah. It's all about their brand and getting themselves out there. That's what they're particularly good at. I think we'll probably might wrap it up soon. Where I always say that normally as we get close to the hour and a half mark, and then we go for another half an hour. So I'm noticing we might wrap it up soon. But plus it's a big weekend here in Oz, so I've got to get ready.
There's all those corona victims and. And there'll be other corona victims not from the virus over the weekend.
Oh, there'll be a lot of coronas getting drunk. It's Anzac Day here, which Anzac Day. Bottle flu? No, that's a clear bottle. Anzac Day is like a sacred day for Australia. It's
is it though?
Isn't it like your 4th of July?
Absolutely, yeah. See, I don't know.
Or is it more like Memorial Day?
But we still have Memorial Day. So
it's we just call it Remembrance Day, but it's pretty unique because it's from an Australian history point of view. I mean, we were founded in 1908.
It's the first time that Australian and New Zealand troops fought on the battlefield together. Basically,
it was kind of when we became a nation. We were no longer, just part of the British Empire. We were, we forged our own identity, sort of
with another country.
New Zealand's not a real place, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
all you Australians are from actors from Argentina anyway. So
I keep telling you, it's Colorado,
Austria.
There's nothing outside the US. Even Canada's fake. And the Mexicans, well, I mean, that's just like the wall in Game of Thrones,
And speaking of Game of Thrones, I'm rewatching that. I just hit season 4 again. That's what I've been doing.
See, I struggle knowing how it ends. I struggle.
That's how it ended badly. No spoilers there.
That last episode sucked.
But of course,
most of the last season sucked, to be fair.
It's St George's Day today, so if they could get out and about, you'd have a lot of English people waving flags today.
St George's Day. Well, that's good. It's that's my team, the Dragons. So St George.
Yeah,
go the Dragons.
Actually, I've got to say now,
I'm back on with them too. By the way,
whilst I was I'd pop out. I was listening in, and Jen brought up the flat Earth. Now, I'm confident now that we can win Bobby back to the globe, because I don't know if you noticed, one of the bigger names in the flat Earth has kind of come out and now said, "Yeah, I'm convinced it's a globe now."
Which one was that one?
Ranty.
It doesn't surprise me. I think Ranty always knew he was having fun.
Yeah, he's hosting a podcast with conspiracy cats now as well.
Yeah, so they have a bit of fun. That's kind of fun show, that.
All right, and that's how you get rid of a Tangelo.
Oh,
Tangelo.
Yeah, no interest. He can just fuck off. He's gone. He'll probably come on with his 30 other bloody profiles because he's got nothing better to do. But I'll just get blocked. He's a
these
douche.
people need a life.
I had the other dickhead in one of my live streams turn up, that Catholic traditionalist who pretty much all he does is parrot Darth Organs word for word, wanting to be
that's what Angelo does now. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're besties, aren't they? I don't know. How did you?
I think your response to him was way more intelligent than his comment, Chris. I really do.
What, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm sick of him. Like, seriously, it's like, fuck off. Just, you know what?
Yeah.
Look, we do this. This is okay. Yeah, it sort of started as an atheist show, and it's still, we do tackle a lot of those things. But I mean, you know what? This is just a group of friends who just get together. We have a couple of drinks, have a couple of chat. Have a bit of a chat, talk about things. It's with the people who come into the chat. They're part of the community. We like to engage. It's just people wanting to hang out. Well, you know what? If we wanted to hear religious bullshit, we'd go to church. Yeah. If we want to have a conversation on a religious issue and people want to come in and talk about it in the chat, cool, no problems.
Yeah.
Do it there. But don't come in while we're talking about just completely different stuff. And I think we were talking about Jen's renovations at one point when he started carrying on. Like, just seriously, fuck off. It's simple. Fuck off. Anyway, that's my rant. I felt like Grumpy there for a second.
I've recently told people, like, don't label me as anything. I'm me. I'm not an atheist, agnostic, nothing, whatever. I'm not sure, what I believe and what I don't believe. I still don't believe in any deities. I have no proof of anything like that, but there are other things that people tell me, well, you can't be an atheist if you believe that. Well, fine, then I'm no longer an atheist.
There are so many things
that's
in life
bullshit,
way more important about whether a fucking God exists.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Look, you know what? If there's a God that exists, you know what? We'll find out one day, okay? And if that
and if
God
that
has
God's
really done
enough of
nothing
an asshole that you don't get into the good place because you didn't believe in them for their entire life, then fuck off to them, basically.
Yeah. Hey, listen, no matter where I go, I'm slapping somebody in the mouth and telling them to get the fuck out of my chair. So.
In all honesty, if you're a God,
you did that last week to Joe, didn't you?
You need everybody to believe in you without you actually wanting to prove that you existed. Then you're not all powerful and all knowing and all that bullshit because you're just an insecure prat. You might be powerful, but you're just a prat.
See, my attitude is I actively don't believe that there is a God, and I accept that by my definition that means that I think by everyone's definition that makes me an atheist. But if someone says they're not sure and they call themselves an atheist, or I don't really care. Like, it's people can identify in whatever way they want to identify. I've had this conversation with Steve McRae a few times, and I get on with Steve, and I agree with his position on what an atheist is and what an agnostic is, and that's all fine. But at the same time, if someone turns around and says, well, I just lack a belief and I'm not really sure, but I'm an atheist, then cool, you're an atheist. I'll call you an atheist. I'm not going to call you I'm not going to stand there and argue and tell you that you are something that you don't think you are or you don't identify as. Well, it's it doesn't affect me.
My honest position on the whole God argument is I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I really don't. That's it.
You just mentioned Steve there. When Catholic traditionalist turned up in my chat, and I went off on a bit of a tirade at him because he's like the whole "give me the link now, I'll come in and debate," And again, it was nothing. It was nothing. We weren't even talking about that about this whatsoever. The thing is, 2 days earlier, he had phoned in to Stephen Cheshire's show, and he rage quit on Steve in less than 2 minutes because. It's like, whatever you think is Steve McRae, he's heard all those pre-sup things before and knows how to answer them. And that Catholic traditions rage quit in less than 2 minutes.
And Steve's not exactly shy when it comes to, telling people what he thinks. Is he? Well, I'll give him that. Actually,
he wasn't rude.
Got to get him on soon.
He wasn't rude or nothing though. He was quite cordial to the guy, but it was just when when this guy realised that his script was not going to work here, he just rage quit and he rage quit extreme.
Yeah. See, I mean, look, I do have an interest in religion and things like that because it's a personal interest to me. It makes no difference to my life if there's a God or there isn't, or which one it is. None of that actually really bothers me. I like the mythology. I like understanding mythology. I like understanding anthropology. I'm a historian. It's what I'm interested in. I was going to be a preacher at one point, so obviously I've got some interest in it. But I do this kind of stuff, but really I think people spend too much time arguing and wanting to debate about it, and as much as I enjoy doing that, it's just I got better things to do most of the time. Although, that being said, I am calling out Darth Organs for round 2.
Good luck.
Whenever you're ready. Whenever you...
He'll never show up again. And yes, we are going to do the Sexy Bible. We are absolutely going to. I had to put that on pause while I took a bit of a break, but absolutely, Sexy Bible is coming back because there's nothing sexier than the Bible. We might do Sexy Quran at some point as well, and sexy. I think Sexy Book of Mormon could be fun.
Oh, Sexy Book of Mormon.
Sexy Book of Mormon. I'm thinking.
Hey,
I'll be back 1 second.
Just real quick to let everybody know in the chat and everybody here, I did kind of take a little bit of a break on my channel. I'm doing some volunteer work that's really got me busy. I'm helping somebody out with some video stuff too for countering violent extremism. So I didn't just disappear. I will be back, and I should have put out an update about that, but just so y'all know, I'm not quitting anything. I'm just really, really busy.
Shall we give them what they want with the Book of Mormon?
Give us your Book of Mormon, Jen. Give us your Book of Mormon.
And if men come unto me, I will show unto them their weakness. I give unto men weakness that they may be humble, and my grace is sufficient for all men that humble themselves before me. For if they humble themselves before me and have faith in me, then I will make weak things become strong unto them.
And that was a Sexy Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
So next week, I'm
never going to Kolob.
We'll bring up some stuff.
I love the fact that I think this is from the Song of Solomon here, and and look, he's got a foot fetish. How beautiful are your sandaled feet, princess! The curves of your thighs are like jewelry, the handiwork of a master.
Oh, that is sexy.
Did I hear some sexy Bible reading?
Yeah, I did a Book of Mormon reading.
Jeff did, I did Song of Solomon, and there's a little bit of foot fetish thing going on there. So.
There's every kind of fetish in the Song of Songs. All right, so okay, well here's the challenge. Here's what we might do. Let's have a bit of fun before we finish it up. I'm going to go and find a random Bible verse generator, and we're just going to read it. We could get anything, okay? But we're going to read it sexy. And we'll get everyone to vote on who's got the sexiest reading of the random Bible verse. Okay, so...
Are we all going to read the same verse, are we?
No.
Okay.
So what I'll do is... I'm going to go random Bible verse. Bible verse
you could be at a
okay,
big disadvantage. What if you get a big gap?
You've really just got to be sexy with that.
Trouble is, if I get the bit in Leviticus about how all gays are supposed to be put to death, I don't know how I'm going to do that sexy.
You will stone them.
We'll stone them.
Oh, you can make anything sexy in the Bible. Okay, all right. So here we go. So we are going to go generate. So who's going to go first? I'm nominating Jen. So Jen's going to go first. Random Bible verse. There we go. Lovely.
For the way of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ, the Lord.
Nobody's beating that.
I was going to say that there's a high bar that's been set, and there might have been a few high bars set from that sexy reading. All right, Jeff, you're next. And you've got
right. Okay, I can.
Some Corinthians, yeah.
I can barely see this. I can't see this at all on the screen.
Yeah, you need to.
All right. Well, I'll give you the. So it's 2 Corinthians 7. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in the private chat for you.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Hang on. Technology is wonderful. Okay, sexily read that for us.
For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of. But the sorrow of the world worketh death. Yeah.
I like the yeah at the end. That was good.
It's like,
All right.
I'm getting wet.
All right, so Darth Dawkins in your sexiest voice.
Oh, jeez.
the sexiest stuff.
Oh, see, we're only getting New Testament King James version. I'm thinking this is a, it's.
Doesn't
I
matter.
might flick
All right,
it a few times after.
We're gonna have to do the same thing. Put that in the private chat so I can.
These old people, I tell you.
I can't see shit.
I've got a 32-inch monitor here, so it's made it easier.
Sorry, 32-inch one. Well, huh?
Monitor.
Oh, okay.
No, the dildo's over there somewhere.
Oh, they were the first things unpacked. Don't lie.
Actually, they weren't. I honestly don't know where I packed them.
Hold on. Okay.
I actually think, Sandy, I could do better than that thinking about it now, but it might be a bit too rude for the stream.
All right.
All right.
Now, am I doing this in Darth voice?
Well, mate, your voice is Darth voice.
Sexy Darth Dawkins. I mean,
Sexy Darth Dawkins.
Sexy Darth Dawkins. Then I think
Sexy Darth Dawkins reads the Bible. That is just a stream in itself.
Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen.
Oh, that wins, Ed. I'm sorry.
Oh, how do you make that low?
Chris,
Yeah.
you've no fucking way you're beating that.
Right.
There's no fucking way.
Jay, you've got a pretty straightforward one here.
I can't see that.
Am I copying it for you as well?
No, I can see it.
You just didn't want me to make an old joke, did you?
Well, because I can know how to blow up the screen so I can actually see it. So,
Ooh.
ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid.
Ooh. That was some sexy. Not the
It's about the
sexiest
best you're
verse.
gonna get.
All right, let's see what I'm lucky with. From Hebrews.
Yeah, the long one too.
That's right. I've got a long one. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even into the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Awesome. Oh, they were all so good. It was all brilliant.
It was good.
I don't
but
want to vote on that at all.
I don't think Chris gets any extra points for being the loudest.
I don't think anyone can beat what Ed did. I'm sorry.
Just when Ed did his low, it's just like,
that bit at the end.
Actually, what does
it was Ed's
what does
mic
the
drop
chat,
moment.
What did the chat think?
It was
Who
a
won
Homer
that?
Simpson moment, just about.
See, I think it is. I think it is Ed, but what does the chat think?
Yeah.
We need to get some feedback. From
Yeah,
the
we
chat
will
on
want
that.
some feedback from the chat, but we think.
We all. I'm thinking Ed. I think we'll award it to Darth Dawkins wins. Actually, now let's see how the poll's going. Let's see how.
And now you know why Amber.
It's probably
married
harder
me.
now after hearing it.
So, Chris,
I thought it was for your long verse.
Chris, Sydney Winston is going to send you a recording on Facebook for Sexy
Cool.
Bible reading, so we could play it next week.
Sounds good.
Oh, brilliant.
Look forward to that. Yeah, flick it through to me. Okay, well, Richard is still winning. It's 60-40. So it's tightening up. Darth is slowly starting. So what I'm going to do is, just in the chat, I'm going to put the I'll put the poll in so everyone can go and vote on it. Incidentally, for anyone who is here, if you haven't hit the subscribe button to the channel, make sure that you've subscribed. So, actually, you know what? Jen, maybe. Jen.
Oh, thank you, Richard. I liked Ed's. I really did. I thought it was good, and the fact that he was doing Darth Organs at the same time was brilliant.
How much did you like Ed's? I mean, what are we talking? I mean, is that something for the Spank Bank, or
No.
you're going to be replaying that later on when you find that box full of goodies?
Didn't put it in a box. Last time I put latex stuff in a box, it melted.
So yeah,
Yeah, they were all together. That was disgusting.
I was about to say Jen's about to have another leak at the house.
Because it looked brilliant.
Oh dear!
It looked like one of those things out of a horror film.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It's where do we go wrong with these things? Where do we go wrong with them? But
next week.
Well, next week's going to be fun. Next week we're talking end times. So I'm going to be looking at some of the Christian end times. We're going to look at Mayan stuff as well.
We're going to look at your end, are we?
You are. You're going to look at my end. It's lovely. It's long, like my verse. But
I have to ask Lizzie about that.
well, Lizzie does call it Stormbringer. Don't forget. So you know.
I thought that was for entirely different reasons.
Oh, there's many reasons. There's many.
Like having to re-get the duvet off the top of the cupboard.
Amongst many other reasons, yes. But no. So me and Ed will pretty much be, I guess, the interviewers for this one, because Jay's going to let us know about some of the Buddhist end times prophecies. We're going to get Jen to be sensible and give us the scientific explanation of the end of the universe. We're actually arranging to get a Muslim on as well, who's going to be talking about end times. I spoke to Justin, who formerly the Empathetic Atheist. He's actually hooking me up with someone who's going to who would be good for that and sort of knows those things, and I guess we're going to have one extra spot that I wouldn't mind, sort of maybe if we could find, if anyone knows a Hindu or
actually, if you're going to talk about end times, why don't you ask Richard in? Because Richard has some really interesting ideas on end times.
Yeah, hey, well, Richard Madsen, if you're around next week, let's do that. Actually, that could work.
I'm really gutted I won't be. I'll be listening in, but I'm really gutted I won't be around, because I could go back to my former days and do a story of Ragnarok from Norse mythology.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
But unfortunately,
we'll record something for us and we'll play it.
If I get some time over the next few days, I'll do that, Chris.
Yeah. Well, nothing else going on. The pubs are locked down.
Richard danced, you, Chris.
Is in.
Yeah.
Well, Richard,
like
Richard, if you want to join us, get a hold of Chris and let him know. Twitter, email, whatever, and we can get you a link for next week.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be good. All right. Well, on that note, let's call it a night, or a morning, or an afternoon for you, Jeff.
It is middle. Yeah, just coming into the middle of the afternoon for me.
Excellent,
Awesome.
excellent. Well, it's 11 p.m. here, so I'm going to get my beauty sleep.
9 p.m.
It's the reason I'm not on camera
need
tonight.
lots
It's because
of
I do. It's really bad. It's really quite bad. But anyway, thank you, everyone. It's been really good to, I guess, chat to everyone. It's been good to see everyone who's been in the chat. Thank you, except for Atangelo. Atangelo, you can continue to go and fuck yourself. Yep.
Except for me, Otangelo, you don't bother me none.
Atangelo, can I just say 2 words to you, my friend? Hail Satan.
He'll clip that as evidence that all atheists, worship the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right. Anyway, all fun. All right, everyone, have a great whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, whether it's in the future, right now, in the chat, or here on the screen. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever the hell you are on this beautiful planet that we all occupy.
Seawater.
Bye.